Hello again and welcome back to some climbing news. Got some stuff for you today. We've got Galla sending Hypnotized Minds, Jorge Diaz Rullo with a huge on-sighting day, Brazil's second ever 8C Boulder problem, and much more. So as always, sit back, relax, enjoy the show, like, subscribe, comment, the whole YouTube thing, you know the drill. And yeah man, start the show. And starting us off today, we've got to talk about Galla getting the fourth repeat Hypnotized Minds, which is just, I mean, dude, honestly, Zach's putting up a tick list that could make anybody jealous, and sending a line like Hypno is one of those things that very much could and should break a lot of people's minds. No pun intended. Look, Hypnotized Minds is one of the most legendary boulders to ever get sent. From the incredibly sick-looking rock to the classic 240p Daniel Woods video where he strings along like 15 different adjectives to describe a single hold, to him doing it, thinking it's 8C V15, to everyone afterward believing it to be much harder, and consensus seemingly at this point saying solid 8C plus V16. Now the Wheeler brothers spent like, I don't know, a good 20 minutes of their time talking about this boulder on the Test Piece podcast, and wait, did I say talking? They were freaking gushing. They were, as the youth might say, standing the crap out of the boulder. And yeah, they're not wrong to do so. It's a sick climb. Like, there's a reason both Dave Graham and Matt Foltz both spent an ungodly amount of time on this thing, especially Dave. Not just because it's wildly difficult, but because it deserves it. I mean, just look at these photos of Zach on this climb and tell me those black tiger streak things aren't the coolest freaking thing. Legit, it looks like the coats of those tiger dog things. You know what I'm talking about. Boxers have them sometimes. It's called a brindle. Look, how sick is that? It's the exact same thing. Anyways, I have no idea how long it took Zach Galla to do this thing. Didn't even know he was working on it. I'm expecting to see a fisheye lens mellow video dropping soon, which if it does come out that way, I'm gonna be kind of bummed. Not gonna lie, I wanna see this thing in crisp 4K on a goddamn TV, not in another low-res Instagram video. But anyways, big ups to Zach either way. Well done holding that quarter pad mini pinch. Gonna be interesting to see what he gets up to next now that the temps are coming. And man, yeah, I don't know, those V17s, they're looming. And then Jorge Diaz just had a pretty big day, or at least a bigger one than that one time he campused my Kilterboard project as a warm-up in front of me, which I don't know if he's watching or if he even remembers. But be that the case, all I can say is, Jorge, que te follen, which to anybody well-versed in Spanish means fuck you. My feelings of inadequacy aside, look, this dude just on-sighted Motivación 8C and Memento 8B+, which are 514B and 514A respectively. And I know many of you are going to be asking yourselves something like, aren't those grades too low to be news at this point? And to that, I say two things. One, shut the fuck up. This is my show. I decide what we talk about. This ain't a democracy, something the Americans in the audience should probably start getting used to. And two, on-sighting 8C is a much bigger deal than it seems. Because it turns out only 7 people have ever, in the history of climbing, ever on-sighted something only a single grade harder, 8C+. I'll throw out the names real quick. Those people are Adamandra, Alex Megos, Pacho Salviaga, Ramon Julian Puigblanque, Domen Skofich, Magnus Mippo, and of course, Laura Rogola. So what I'm trying to get at is that doing a double on-site of 8C and 8B+ in a single day is pretty freaking wildly difficult and an exceedingly rare thing to do. It's not like Stefano Ghisolfi's out here on-sighting 8C every other day. Actually, since he puts all of his sends on 8A and U, I can tell you that the guy's only on-sighted 8C once. And yeah, I just said only, but that's still crazy freaking impressive. Like, on-sighting 8Cs, Stefano, that's amazing. Well done to him. Back to Jorge though. This dude has on-sighted 6 other 8C routes, okay? The guy just needs to get lucky on any 8C+, and I'll be singing his praises again in a future video. For now, he's just the snake that campused my proj, so I personally don't like him, even though he's a perfectly nice person. Congratulations though to Jorge. It's a pretty good thing when you're, getting back to the flow of things includes something most people train their whole lives to do and most people can't even do. just to say that, yeah, see, I'm telling you, the guy, he's the worst. Absolute worst. Next, and I mean, do I even count this as news? It's not really news. It's basically freaking celebrity gossip at this point. Brooke Raboutou announced she's moving to Paris on her Instagram. Now, while I personally couldn't give less of a damn where someone I've never met chooses to live, it also does mean that she'll be much closer to Font. She'll be closer to Seus, to Oliana, and Ciurana, to like all of friggin' Switzerland. And it seems she's pretty dang serious about feeling motivated about her outdoor climbing. So, yeah, this is just me telling her to go forth and crush, as if she needed my encouragement or permission. Not a lot has happened in climbing this week. Can you guys tell? I feel like you can tell. And then let's talk about Claudia Ghisolfi, who, as I can only assume those of you with keen ears and the deductive powers of Sherlock Holmes have guessed already, is Stefano Ghisolfi's little sister. And her latest claim to fame is not her famous older brother, but the fact that she just sent her second ever 9A 514D route, the Gorge de Loup Ultra Classic Triptych Tonik, which puts her amongst some pretty stout company, man. To my knowledge, there are only 22 other ladies in the world who have sent 2 or more 9A routes. Most sent. It's gonna go to Laura Roda with 12, who coincidentally sent Triptych Tonik on the same trip with Claudia back in July, which is when, you know, Claudia started working on this route as well. Now, it seems on this trip, one of the holds on Triptych Tonik actually broke, making the whole thing a little bit harder for Claudia as she had to get past a very bouldery crux using totally new beta. But ultimately, seems the broken hold hasn't really changed the grades of the overall route, so I suppose it will likely have gone from, I don't know, like solid 9A to stout 9A. Either way, massive congratulations to Claudia on an incredible achievement, cementing herself as one of the strongest women to ever climb, period. And then, boy oh boy, has it been a month for Brazilian climbers. Not only did Felipe Camargo send his long-standing project, the incredible Abaporu 9B, but now a totally different Felipe, in this case Felipe Fogagnolo, has just proposed Brazil's second ever 8C/V15 boulder problem, the so-called Gotham City. Now, this is a problem. It's in a cave. It's a pretty serious power endurance monster. We're talking 19 moves added to a solid 8B V13 finish, which is just, I mean, as someone who pretty much exclusively boulders, the thought of putting together 10 moves makes me want to throw up, let alone twice as many before having to add an 8B. Not entirely sure just how hard those 19 moves are, but I mean, if you're basically adding a giant route to an 8B, those better be some seriously chill 19 moves for it to all end up adding to 8C V15. Or at the very least, that better be a bomber knee bar rest. Otherwise, this boulder sounds mega sandbagged, for real. But man, massive congrats to Felipe. I had some Brazilians in the comments give me crap for not pronouncing that name correctly last week, or at least for almost pronouncing it correctly. I'm sorry, I'm Spanish. I see Felipe. I want to pronounce it like they do in Spain. But you bastards believe I can almost sort of get it right, okay? Felipe. Okay, how'd I do? How's that? Anyways, huge things for Brazil's future in the climbing world. This is some pretty exciting stuff to see. Next, let's talk about Loic Zehani, who just put up a new 9A route in Les Branches, which is called Fubar. Now, Fubar is apparently a 12-move extension that veers left from the end of an 8C plus route that was sent by Loic back in 2022, and which has still not been repeated. More importantly, this very route, Fubar, actually seems to end at the exact same spot as a pretty big project that Loic has been working on that he says could potentially be as hard as 9B plus or 515C, which is the second hardest current grade in like all of sport climbing. Seems this is the first 9th grade route to be sent in this particular cave, but according to Loic, Jean-Marc Auberly, and Loic's father, the area has some pretty serious potential for very hard climbing. I mean, if he's got a 9B plus project, that basically speaks for itself. Seems Loic made a lot of good progress on said 9B plus project, but it seems he felt like he wouldn't have time to finish before the cold rolled in, so he just focused on this FA, which, yeah, fair enough. I guess we'll be seeing a send of that proj next year, or maybe not, who knows? Maybe the dude gets lucky in the upcoming weeks and does the whole thing. I'm not sure. Either way, big things coming out of Les Branches. Loic, has his Instagram set to private for reasons I don't know. So yeah, this photo is pretty much all I got for you guys. It is what it is. Moving on. And then more about my nemesis, man. Let's talk about Jules Marchaland very, very, very casually effing a 9A in like, what, 3 goes? So Jules is fresh back from his trip to Flat Anger. Seems a friend of his, Cédric Le Piccolo, boated a route in Carros, France, that Jules decided to hop on. That was a mess of accents. Doesn't matter. Apparently the route is total trash. I'm actually not super kidding. Jules admitted that it was a pretty heavily manufactured line, which could mean a lot of things. Anything from someone having drilled and created pockets to legitimate crimps on the rock. Scandalous to a lot of Americans, but also kind of par for the course in a lot of Europe, which is pretty unfortunate, I gotta say. Never liked the idea of manufacturing climbs. It just really, I don't know, lowers their value drastically for me personally. Like if it's not a natural thing that's occurred through erosion and all that, its rarity is gone. And at that point, I mean, it might as well just be a gym climb. Not that gym climbs are bad. It just bolt actual plastic holes on the wall like they did in that dam for the Red Bull multi-pitch thing, whatever. Point is, Jules just sent 9A very, very quickly. 1 go to try the moves, 1 go that he fell off of, and another go the next day, his final red point go. So what, like 2 red point attempts? That's nuts. This dude is seriously gonna flash something ridiculous or onside 8C plus before Jorge does. What the guy is doing is becoming scarier and scarier and scarier, man. Like, I don't know what his ceiling is. I'm so excited to see what it is. Honestly, I know that I joke around about hating the guy and saying he's my nemesis and all that, but I'm just psyched as hell to see what he's gonna be doing this winter. It's gonna be incredible. So links to all of his socials and all that are down there. And actually, anyone else you guys believe will have a monster season? Let me know in the comments. And finally, World Championships are in full swing right now. Lead finals are done, speed finals are done. Just sort of waiting to see what happens with the bouldering semifinals and finals. I'm not going to talk about them until the whole thing is done. So just kind of announcing that I'm a lazy bum and that you'll be getting all my thoughts next week. I'm not sorry. But hey man, that was some climbing news. Thanks as always for watching. Not much left to say other than a quick reminder to like, subscribe, all that good stuff if you haven't yet. I will see you guys next week without a doubt. But in the meantime, enjoy the weekend. And as always, climb some stuff.